By the time I finished scrubbing my sister's blood off the basement floor, I had already made my decision. I wasn't going to the police. I was going after the Korean Mafia boss who owned this building, the man who smiles like he doesn't destroy lives for a living. For 8 months, I've worked under him as a cleaner, pretending I don't understand Korean, pretending I don't hear the conversations that could get me killed. What he doesn't know is that I'm not here to survive. I'm here to find out if he murdered my sister. And tonight, he's about to realize I don't belong here. Busan, 2:17 in the morning. The warehouse smells like copper and gunpowder, and the specific sweetness of a body that stopped breathing 3 hours ago. Imani is on her knees in a spreading pool of blood, earbuds in, humming something Haitian her mother used to sing. Her gloved hands work the scrub brush in perfect circular motions, methodical, like she's painting a masterpiece instead of erasing evidence of 3 execution-style murders. She doesn't flinch, doesn't gag. The bodies were removed an hour ago, but the blood, the beautiful, terrible blood, tells her everything: trajectory patterns, caliber size, how long they suffered. She photographs the spatter on the wall with a phone she'll wipe clean later, angles the camera to capture a specific shell casing near the drain. 22mm, Russian make. The same type she found at 4 other scenes this month. The warehouse door opens. She doesn't look up. Heavy footsteps. Multiple sets, expensive shoes on cheap concrete, the kind of silence that comes when dangerous men enter a room. Who let her work alone? The voice is smooth, younger than she expected, carrying the weight of someone who's recently inherited authority and doesn't quite fit into it yet. Imani pulls out one earbud, still scrubbing. I work better alone. That wasn't a question for you. Now she looks up. Yoon Ji Woon stands 5 feet away, surrounded by 6 men. He's nothing like his father. The old boss was thick, brutal, a hammer of a man. This one is a blade, tall and black coat that probably costs more than her car, with the kind of face that makes people stupid. Sharp jaw, calculating eyes, dangerous mouth. Their entire organization bows and scrapes around him. He became the boss 3 weeks ago, when his father died suddenly, and rumor says he's been drowning in the deep end ever since. Imani turns back to her work. You're standing in my light. His men bristle. One steps forward, hand moving toward his jacket. Ji Woon raises 2 fingers. The man freezes. You're not afraid, Ji Woon observes. And there's something almost curious in his voice, like he's found a strange insect and wants to see what it does next. Dead men don't scare me. Imani wrings pink water from her brush into the bucket. Living ones are usually too stupid to bother with. One of his men hisses in air through his teeth. Disrespect like this gets people hurt in their world. Imani knows this. She's counting on arrogance reading as ignorance. But Ji Woon laughs, short and surprised. What's your name? The one on my employment contract. I don't read those. Then I guess you don't need to know. She moves to a new section, scrubbing arterial spray from the concrete support beam. Her shoulders ache. She's been working for 4 hours. Another 2 to go. The man at Ji Woon's right, older than the rest with silver in his hair and a face like carved stone, leans close and whispers something. Imani catches fragments, disrespectful, and teach her. Ji Woon shakes his head slightly. His eyes haven't left Imani. He watches her work with the intensity of someone seeing color for the first time after a lifetime of gray, studying the way her hands move, efficient and unafraid, the way she hums again now that the conversation seems over. How long have you been doing this, he asks. Cleaning up after men like you? Imani sits back on her heels, finally giving him her full attention. Her face is beautiful in a way that doesn't apologize. Dark skin and darker eyes, natural hair tied back in a wrap, features that blend her Haitian father and Korean mother into something that belongs everywhere and nowhere. Long enough to know this wasn't a business dispute. The temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. Someone's hand definitely goes to a gun this time. Explain, Ji Woon says quietly. Imani points to the blood patterns without standing. 3 men, 1 kneeling, 2 standing when they were shot. The kneeling one died first, back of the head, execution. The other 2 ran, got maybe 4 meters before the shooter dropped them both. Different angles, which means your guy tracked and fired twice in under 3 seconds. She meets Ji Woon's eyes. That's not business, that's personal. Someone was angry. Silence. Then Ji Woon turns to the silver-haired man. In-soo, were you going to tell me that part? Big In-soo's expression doesn't change, but something flickers behind his eyes, quick as a snake's tongue. The details seemed unnecessary. They betrayed us. They died. The message is sent. I decide what's necessary. There's steel underneath Ji Woon's smooth voice now, the authority settling onto him like a coat he's learning to wear. Next time, I want the full report. In-soo bows slightly. Of course. But when he straightens, his gaze slides to Imani. And it's the first time tonight she feels actual cold touch her spine. Before you judge Imani for playing with fire, ask yourself, have you ever loved someone enough to burn the world down looking for them? Drop a comment below. And if you're the kind of person who loves stories about women who don't wait to be saved, subscribe now because you're going to want to see where this goes. 73% of you are watching without subscribing, and honestly, that's just rude. Ji Woon is still watching her. You're observant. I'm thorough. That's why you pay me. What's your rate? Same as everyone else's. I'll double it. I want you for all our cleanups, exclusively. Imani's heart kicks against her ribs, but her face stays bored. Exclusive access to their crime scenes is exactly what she needs, but desperation shows weakness. I like variety in my work. Triple then. You throw money at all your problems? Only the interesting ones. His smile is slight, dangerous. And you're very interesting, Miss Baptiste. So he does know her name. Of course he does. Men like him know everything in their territory. The question is, how much? Does he know about Sora? About why Imani really took this job? She makes a show of considering, then shrugs. Fine, triple rate. But I work alone? I work my own hours? And I don't answer questions about what I see. The last part is a given. You'd be dead already if you talked. He says it matter-of-factly, like commenting on weather. We'll send you a new contract. He turns to leave, his men falling into formation around him. At the door, he pauses, looks back. The humming. What song is it? Something my mother sang. You wouldn't know it. Try me. No pap jan blie. It's Creole. Means we will never forget. Something crosses his face, too quick to read. No, I suppose we don't. Then they're gone. Expensive shoes echoing away into the Busan night, and Imani is alone with the blood again. She waits 5 full minutes, listening, making sure. Then she pulls the shell casing from where she palmed it, examining it under her work light. Same markings as the others. She photographs it from 4 angles, then drops it into a small evidence bag that goes into her bra, the safest place when you're a woman in a man's world. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. Stop digging or you're next. Imani deletes it without responding. It's the 4th threat this month. She's getting close to something. At 4:23 in the morning, she finishes, loads her equipment into her beat-up Hyundai, and drives to the small apartment she rents in Gamcheon, the hillside village, where the houses are painted in pastels, and tourists come to take pictures of poverty made pretty. Inside, the main room looks normal. Small kitchen, futon, cheap TV, but the closet tells a different story. Wall to wall, floor to ceiling, Imani has built an investigation board that would make a detective weep. Crime scene photos, dozens of them, each labeled with dates and locations. Newspaper clippings about disappearances, unsolved murders, the old boss's sudden death 8 months ago. Red string connecting scenes, patterns emerging like constellations. And in the center, printed on photo paper and pinned with care, Sora Baptiste, 24 years old. Smile like sunrise. missing for 237 days. Imani adds the new shell casing to the evidence bags taped along the bottom. Adds tonight's photos to the wall. Steps back. I met him tonight, Sora. She whispers to the picture. The son. He's not what I expected. Smarter. More, I don't know, human. She touches her sister's face through the plastic. I'm getting into their inner circle. Triple rate means triple access. I'm going to find out what happened to you, I promise. Nous pas j'oublier. We will never forget. She allows herself 30 seconds of tears, because that's the rule. 30 seconds to be human, then back to being a ghost. Then she showers the blood off, falls into bed, and dreams of basements and gunshots and her sister's voice calling for help that never came. Over the next 3 weeks, Ji Woon requests Imani for every single cleanup. A hostess bar where someone got too handsy and ended up with a broken neck. An apartment in Haeundae where an accountant learned what happens when you skim from the wrong people. A parking garage execution. A bathtub suicide that definitely wasn't. Scene after scene, and Imani catalogs everything, building her case piece by piece, evidence bag by evidence bag. And at every third or fourth scene, Ji Woon shows up. Not to supervise, not to intimidate, just to watch her work. His men notice. In Sue especially, always at Ji Woon's shoulder. Silver hair and stone face and eyes that track Imani like a wolf watching a rabbit that doesn't run properly. Boss and Sue says at the parking garage scene, voice low, but Imani's hearing is excellent. People will think she means something to you. That makes her a target. Then, make sure she's protected. That's not what I meant. I know what you meant. Ji Woon's tone ends the conversation. Scene 11 is a penthouse in Marine City, all glass walls and ocean views, and a dead politician bleeding out on white marble. Imani is examining the blood spatter, calculating angles, when Ji Woon arrives. Alone. She glances up. Where's your shadow? I have many shadows. The silver-haired one. In Sue. He follows you like a dog. He was my father's best friend. Now he's mine. Ji Woon sheds his coat, drapes it over a chair that costs more than Imani makes in a month, and sits on the blood-stained couch like it's nothing. He worries. About what? Me making mistakes. Am I a mistake? Imani asks it lightly, still working, but the question hangs heavy. I haven't decided yet. She laughs despite herself. Honest, I appreciate that. Why do you do this? He gestures at the blood, the body outline, the violence made visible. The money can't be that good. It's good enough. That's not an answer. Imani sits back on her heels, studying him. He's been a boss for 6 weeks now, and it shows. The way he holds himself, the exhaustion around his eyes. Why do you keep coming to these scenes? You don't need to be here. That's not an answer either. Then I guess we both have our secrets. They look at each other across a dead man's blood, and something shifts. A recognition. 2 people wearing masks, suddenly aware they're both pretending. Tell me something real, Ji Woon says quietly. Just one thing. Imani shouldn't. Every instinct screams to stay closed, stay safe. But there's something about him. The loneliness that matches her own. And the words slip out. I had a sister. I have a sister. Where is she? I don't know. True and false at once. We got separated. You miss her. Every single day. Her voice cracks just slightly and she hates it. Hates showing weakness. But he doesn't pounce on it. Just nods like he understands. My father died 8 weeks ago. He offers in return a truth for a truth. Heart attack. Sudden. Everyone tells me I should be grateful, that he went peacefully. But I just feel, he pauses, searching, robbed, of time, of answers, of knowing if he was proud of me. Were you close? No, that's the worst part. I have all this grief for a man I barely knew. He runs a hand through his hair, rumpling it from perfect to human. Everyone wants something from me now. Territory, money, decisions. They look at me and see my father's empire. No one sees me. I see you, Imani says before she can stop herself. His eyes snap to hers. Do you? The air thickens. Imani stands quickly. I should finish this. But as she works, he stays, and they fall into unexpected conversation. He asks where she's from, really from, and she tells him about Port-au-Prince, about her mother who was Korean and her father who was Haitian, about moving to Seoul at 14 after her mother died and never quite fitting anywhere. He tells her about the weight of inherited power, about men twice his age testing him constantly, about Insu's endless advice that feels more like control every day. Do you trust him? Imani asks, carefully casual. Insu? With my life. He's been with our family for 30 years. The certainty in his voice makes her stomach turn. If Insu is involved in Sora's disappearance, and he's this close to Ji Woon, then she's playing an even more dangerous game than she thought. When she finishes cleaning, Ji Woon walks her to her car. It's almost dawn, the sky going purple over the ocean. Same time next week probably, she says, echoing her words from their first meeting. Probably, but he doesn't move. Imani. It's the first time he's used her first name. It sounds different in his mouth, intimate. Be careful, my world. It eats people who get too close. I'm not close. I'm just the cleaner. We both know that's not true anymore. He's right. Somewhere between scene 1 and scene 11, between watching and being watched, they've crossed a line drawn in blood, and neither of them can uncross it. If you're already mentally shipping them, hit that like button so I know you have excellent taste in complicated relationships. 2 days later, Imani gets called to a hotel in Seomyeon, room 412. Discretion required. She arrives at midnight with her equipment and her walls firmly back in place. The room is surprisingly clean. No body, just blood on the bathroom tile, already mostly scrubbed away by amateur hands. Ji Woon is sitting on the bed. Alone. There's no scene, Imani says slowly. No. You called me here under false pretenses. Yes. Why? He stands, and she sees it now, the tension in his shoulders, the slightly wild look of a man who's been holding himself together and feels the threads snapping. Because I can't stop thinking about you. Because every time I close my eyes, I see you kneeling in blood, completely unafraid, and it's the only thing that feels real anymore. Because I'm losing my mind, and you're the only person who doesn't want anything from me except to be left alone. Imani should leave, should run, should remember why she's really here, what she's really after. Instead, she sets down her equipment bag. This is a terrible idea. I know. I'm your employee. You're a criminal. This breaks every rule. I know. He hasn't moved closer, giving her space to choose. I have secrets, Ji Woon. Things you don't know about me. So do I. She crosses the space between them. Tell me to leave and I will. Don't leave, he says, and his voice breaks on it just enough that she sees the truth. He's as terrified as she is, falling just as hard, just as stupid. Imani kisses him first, rising on her toes, pulling him down by his collar. He makes a surprised sound against her mouth, then responds, hands coming to her waist, careful at first like she might shatter, then harder when she bites his bottom lip and he realizes she won't. They stumble backward. He sits on the bed, pulls her into his lap, and she goes willingly, straddling him, hands in his hair. The kiss deepens, desperate, two people starving, finally allowed to eat. His hands find the hem of her shirt, pause, asking permission. She breaks the kiss long enough to pull it over her head herself, and his breath catches. You're so beautiful, he whispers in Korean. I don't know what you're saying. Good. I'm being embarrassing. He kisses her collarbone, her neck, the spot behind her ear that makes her gasp. She works the buttons of his shirt, frustrated when they don't cooperate, and he helps, shrugging out of it. She maps his chest with her hands, the surprising muscle, the smooth skin, a scar along his ribs that she'll ask about later. Later, the assumption of a future in that thought should terrify her. He flips them somehow, gentle but certain, laying her back on the hotel bed, kisses down her sternum, her stomach, hooks his fingers in her waistband and looks up, asking again. She lifts her hips in answer. What happens next is slow and intense. Ji Woon taking his time like he wants to memorize every sound she makes, every place that makes her arch into him. When he finally moves inside her, it feels inevitable, like they've been moving toward this since the first moment in the warehouse. Maybe before, maybe always. She wraps her legs around him, meets his rhythm, and it's good, better than good, the kind of connection that's more than physical. He buries his face in her neck, breathing her name like a prayer. She runs her nails down his back and feels him shudder. When she comes, it's with his name on her lips, and when he follows seconds later, she holds him through it. This powerful, dangerous man absolutely undone in her arms. After, tangled together in hotel sheets, he traces the scar on her ribcage, the one she got at 16 from a boyfriend who thought hitting was loving until her father taught him different. What happened? Ji Woon asks softly. Trusted the wrong person. I won't be that person. You can't promise that. She turns to face him. You don't even know me. Not really. Then let me. His hand cups her face. Let me know you. She almost tells him, almost confesses everything. The investigation, Sora, why she's really in his world. The truth sits on her tongue. 3 words from freedom. But her phone vibrates on the nightstand. She reaches for it. Unknown number. A photo this time. Sora, or someone who looks like her. Blurred and distant. And a message. She's alive. Stop looking, or she won't be. Imani's blood turns to ice. She deletes it with shaking hands before Ji Woon can see. Everything okay? He asks. Just work. The lie tastes like ash. He pulls her back against his chest, arms around her waist, and falls asleep holding her like she's something precious. Imani lies awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling the warmth of him against her back and the cold certainty in her gut. She's falling in love with the son of the man whose organization took her sister. And somewhere out there, Sora is still alive, which means Imani's investigation just became a rescue mission. Which means she can't stop now, even if it destroys the only real thing she's felt in 8 months. Even if it destroys her. Subscribe if you want to see how badly this is about to go sideways, because trust me, you're not ready for what happens next. 5 days pass, and Imani exists in a strange split reality. Nights with Ji Woon, stolen hours where they learn each other's bodies and carefully avoid talking about the future. Days cataloging evidence, following leads, the anonymous texts coming more frequently now. She's close to something. She can feel it, the way a storm feels before it breaks. The call comes at 9:30 on a Tuesday night. Restaurant cleanup in Korean, gang dispute, standard job. Ji Woon is in Seoul, meeting with suppliers, sent her a text 2 hours ago that made her smile like an idiot. Missing you is inconvenient. Hurry up and finish so I can come home. Home. When did Busan become home instead of a hunting ground? She arrives at the restaurant, a small seafood place that's been closed for renovations, which should have been her first warning. The door is unlocked. Inside, the dining room is empty. Chairs stacked on tables, but there's blood. Not much. A trail leading to the kitchen. Imani follows it because she's thorough, because this is what she does, because she doesn't realize until too late that the blood pattern is wrong, too controlled, painted instead of spilled. The kitchen is dark. She reaches for the light switch. The lights don't come on. But 4 men step out of the shadows, and she knows with absolute crystalline certainty that she's about to die. Message for Yoon Ji Woon, the largest one says, pulling a knife that catches the moonlight through the windows. Imani runs. Not toward the exit, that's what they expect. She runs deeper into the kitchen, grabs a pot of old oil, swings it hard into the first man's face. He screams. She doesn't stop moving. Muscle memory from self-defense classes her father made her take. From growing up half-black in Seoul, where you learn to fight or learn to take it. She breaks another one's nose with a canister of industrial cleaner. The crack of cartilage, satisfying and terrible. But there are 4 of them, and one of her. And when the third one tackles her from behind, she goes down hard, skull cracking against tile. Blood in her mouth, ringing in her ears, hands dragging her up. Tell your boss, the leader says, and his fist connects with her ribs. Once, twice, she feels something crack. Everything he loves dies. They take turns, professional, methodical, the kind of beating designed to hurt without killing immediately. Face, stomach, kidneys. She tries to fight back, but her arms don't work right anymore. Everything is pain and the taste of copper. One of them pulls a gun, points it at her head. Any last words? Imani spits blood at his shoes. Go to hell. He laughs, thumbs back the hammer, and gunfire erupts. But not from his gun. The kitchen door explodes inward, and Ji Woon comes through it like vengeance personified, flanked by 6 men, and she's never seen him like this. The careful control is gone, burned away, leaving something primal and furious. He shoots the man holding the gun, doesn't hesitate, just pulls the trigger and the body drops. The others scatter. One dies trying to run. One surrenders. The last 2 escape through the back, and Ji Woon lets them because he's already crossing to Imani, dropping to his knees in her blood. Imani, look at me. Stay with me. His hands hover over her body like he's afraid to touch, afraid she'll break further. Should have stayed invisible. She manages through split lips. Don't talk. Save your strength. He's already pulling out his phone, barking orders. Then he's lifting her, so careful, cradling her against his chest, and she can feel him shaking. She's never seen him shake before. The drive to his private doctor is a blur of pain and Ji Woon's voice. Steady stream of words in Korean she doesn't understand, but that sound like prayers. She drifts in and out. At some point, she becomes aware of a pristine medical room, bright lights, a calm woman's voice saying ribs and concussion and lucky. Ji Woon holds her hand through all of it, white-knuckled. And when the doctor injects something that makes the pain fuzzy, he leans close and whispers, I will kill everyone who did this. Everyone who sent them. I will burn their families to ash. Ji Woon, Imani slurs, the drugs pulling her under. Not your fault. Yes, it is. You became visible because of me. She wants to tell him that's not true, that she was always going to become visible the moment she got close enough to the truth about Sora, but the darkness takes her. When she wakes, it's to unfamiliar ceiling, expensive sheets. The smell of bergamot and cedar that she's learned means Ji Woon's space, his penthouse. She's been here twice before, both times leaving before dawn. This time it's daylight, weak winter sun through floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Gwangan Bridge. Ji Woon sits in a chair beside the bed. He hasn't slept, she can tell. Still wearing yesterday's clothes. Blood on his collar. Her blood probably. Eyes rimmed red. Hey, she croaks. He's beside her in a heartbeat, hand cupping her face so gently it makes her chest ache. How do you feel? Like I got beat up by 4 men. 3 broken ribs. Concussion. Severe bruising. The doctor says you'll heal, but it'll hurt for weeks. His thumb traces her cheekbone, the only part of her face that isn't swollen or cut. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why are you sorry? You saved me. I made you a target. His voice cracks. Insu was right. People see you with me and they think you're leverage, a weakness to exploit. Who were they? We're still finding out. The one we captured, he's not talking yet, but he will. Something dark crosses Ji Woon's face. Something that should frighten her, but doesn't. Imani struggles to sit up, gasping at the pain in her ribs. Ji Woon helps her, props pillows behind her back. This close she can see the fear still lingering in his eyes, the way his hands tremble slightly. Ji Woon, there's something I need to tell you. The painkillers make her brave. Or maybe it's nearly dying. Or maybe she's just tired of lying to the only person who feels real. About why I'm really here. Imani, you don't have to. My sister, Sora, she didn't just disappear. She was working at your club, Club Artemis, 8 months ago. She called me one night, terrified. Said she'd seen something she wasn't supposed to. Something about a death. Someone important. 2 days later, she vanished. The words tumble out, confession and accusation at once. I became a crime scene cleaner to investigate your organization, to find out what happened to her. I've been using you, using the access, cataloging evidence. I was going to, I don't know, turn it all over to the police or use it to force you to tell me the truth. But then she gestures helplessly between them. This wasn't supposed to happen. Silence. Ji Woon's face is unreadable, carved from stone. Then, quietly, 8 months ago. Yes, when my father died. Imani nods, watching him piece it together. You think your sister witnessed something related to his death? I think she saw something that got her killed or disappeared. And I think your organization is responsible. Her voice breaks. I'm sorry I lied to you. But I won't stop looking for her, even if it means losing you. Ji Woon stands, paces to the window. She can see his reflection in the glass, the war happening behind his eyes. When he finally speaks, his voice is careful, controlled. My father's death was ruled natural causes. Heart attack. I was in Seoul when it happened. Insu called me, told me he'd passed peacefully in the private dining room at Club Artemis. Insu was there? He said he was having dinner with my father when it happened, that he held him as he died, called the doctor immediately. Ji Woon turns. You're saying that's a lie. I'm saying I cleaned that room. I was new. Insu hired me personally, paid triple for discretion. And there was blood. Ji Woon. Not a lot, but enough. Wiped from a glass. Droplets on the floor. That's not a heart attack. His expression shudders. You're accusing my father's oldest friend of murder. I'm telling you what I saw. Do you have proof? Photos, evidence. Not enough for a conviction, but enough to raise questions. She meets his eyes. Enough to make me think Insu is hiding something. And if Sora saw whatever really happened that night, she doesn't finish the sentence. Doesn't have to. Ji Woon pulls out his phone, pulls up something, hands it to her. Is this your sister? It's a personnel file. Sora Baptiste, age 24. Hostess at Club Artemis, hired 6 months before she disappeared. The photo is her, smiling, beautiful, alive. Last shift logged, April 3rd. 8 months ago, the same night my father died. Ji Woon's voice is hollow. She was scheduled in the private dining room, serving my father and Insu. The pieces click together with horrible clarity. If you're not subscribed yet, you're basically choosing chaos because the next 10 minutes are going to redefine everything you thought you knew about this story. Don't say, I didn't warn you. We need to search Insu's office, Imani says. His apartment. Anywhere he might keep, I don't know, evidence, records, something. If you're wrong about this, if Insu is innocent and finds out we're investigating him, it could fracture the entire organization. And if I'm right and we do nothing? Ji Woon is quiet for a long moment. Then, there's a family meeting in 2 days. All senior members, including Insu. It's mandatory. Everyone will be there for at least 3 hours. That's when we search his office. We? You think I'm letting you do this alone? You can barely stand. I heal fast. Imani, He sits on the edge of the bed, takes her hand. If we find proof that In-soo killed my father, that he's been lying to me for 8 months while I trusted him with everything, I will kill him myself, slowly. Are you prepared for that? If he hurts Sora, I'll help you. They look at each other, understanding passing between them. This is the line. Once they cross it, there's no going back to whatever they were before. This becomes partnership, conspiracy, possibly suicide. I love you, Ji Woon says suddenly. I need you to know that before this gets worse. I love you and it's inconvenient, and possibly going to get us both killed, but it's the truth. Imani pulls him down, kisses him despite her split lip, tasting desperation and promise. I love you too. I didn't want to, but I do. The family meeting is held in a private room at the Paradise Hotel, neutral ground. All the senior members of the Yoon organization gathered to discuss territory disputes and profit margins. Ji Woon attends looking every inch the boss. Expensive suit, cold expression, In-soo at his right hand like always. Imani, ribs taped and face still bruised, breaks into In-soo's office across town. She's good at being invisible, but Ji Woon insisted she take 2 of his most trusted men. Bodyguards who ask no questions and keep their guns ready. The office is pristine, organized, everything labeled and filed. Financial records going back decades. Shipping manifests, property deeds. All legitimate, all clean. Too clean. Imani searches for an hour. Methodical. Looking for the things people hide. False bottoms, loose panels, safes behind paintings. The bodyguards watch the door, tense. She finds it behind a bookshelf, a small safe with a biometric lock. She photographs it, sends the image to Ji Woon with a question mark. His response comes 2 minutes later. A code, 6 digits, his father's birthday. The safe opens. Inside, a nightmare. USB drives, labeled with dates. A handgun, cash, American and Korean. Passports, 3 of them, all In-soo's face with different names. And a locked metal box, small, the kind that holds jewelry or keepsakes. Imani picks the lock with a bobby pin, hands shaking. Inside the box, personal effects. A woman's necklace, delicate silver chain. Student ID badge for Busan National University. Imani Baptiste, smiling at the camera. A phone, dead battery. And underneath it all, a hard drive, labeled in neat handwriting, insurance. Imani's vision blurs with tears. She photographs everything, takes the hard drive and Sora's things, leaves everything else exactly as it was. On her way out, she notices something else. Security footage archives, months and months of recordings from Club Artemis. She grabs the one dated 8 months ago. Back at Ji Woon's penthouse, she plugs in the hard drive while her bodyguards stand watch, and Ji Woon races back from the meeting he cut short with excuses about urgent business. The files are extensive. Financial records showing In-soo has been embezzling for years. Millions of won funneled to offshore accounts. Communications with rival families, selling information, sabotaging deals, a document outlining a plan to weaken Ji Woon's position, turn the organization against him, stage a coup, and video files, dozens of them. Imani opens the one dated April 3rd, 8 months ago. Club Artemis, private dining room, timestamp, shows 8:47 p.m. The footage is grainy but clear enough. In-soo and Ji Woon's father at a table, drinking, laughing. A young woman serves them, refills their tea. Sora. Beautiful and alive and completely unaware she has minutes left before her life ends. The old boss drinks, says something to In-soo, laughs. Then his expression changes. Confusion. He touches his throat, tries to stand, falls. In-soo doesn't move to help, just watches, clinical, as the man who trusted him chokes and convulses and dies. Sora comes back into frame, sees what's happening, rushes to help. She's screaming. Imani can't hear it, but she can see it, her sister's mouth open in horror. In-soo grabs her, drags her away from the body. The video cuts. Next file. Basement. Sora in a cage, crying, terrified. In-soo standing outside, talking on the phone. The timestamp updates. Not 8 months ago, 3 days ago. Sora is alive. The door opens. Ji Woon enters, takes one look at Imani's face and knows. You found something. She can't speak, just turns the laptop so he can see. He watches his father die, watches In-soo let it happen. His face drains of color, jaw clenched so tight she hears teeth grinding. When the video ends, he's shaking with rage. Where is she? His voice is barely human. Where is he keeping your sister? Imani fast-forwards through more files, looking for location data, timestamps, anything. There, a property deed. Pier 19, storage facility, Unit 34. Purchased 2 years ago under one of In-soo's false identities. We have to go now, Imani says, already standing despite the screaming pain in her ribs. We have to be smart. If In-soo knows we're onto him, he'll run or kill her or both. Ji Woon is already making calls, assembling a team. The meeting ran long. He's still there. We have maybe an hour before he realizes something's wrong. Then we have an hour to get Sora. They take 3 cars, 12 men, enough firepower to start a small war. The drive to Pier 19 feels endless. Imani's heart hammering against her broken ribs, mind racing through every terrible possibility. What if the video is old? What if Sora's already dead? What if this is a trap? What if they're too late? The storage facility is industrial, rows of identical units, minimal security. Unit 34 is at the back, nondescript, padlocked. Ji Woon's men cut the lock, draw weapons. Imani pushes to the front because she needs to see, needs to know. The unit opens. Inside, a makeshift cell. Bucket in the corner. Dirty mattress. Protein bar wrappers. And huddled against the far wall, thin and pale and absolutely terrified, Sora. She looks up when the door opens, flinches like she expects violence. Then her eyes focus on Imani and the world stops. Imani? Her voice is wrecked, hoarse from screaming or crying, or 8 months of captivity. Imani doesn't remember crossing the space, doesn't feel her ribs anymore, doesn't feel anything except her sister's bird-bone fragility as she drops to her knees and pulls Sora into her arms. They're both crying, sobbing, 8 months of nightmare and searching and hope that hurt more than despair, and it's over. She found her. She's alive. I've got you, Imani gasps into Sora's hair. I've got you. You're safe. You're safe now. Sora clings to her like a drowning person, shaking so hard her teeth chatter. He said you were dead, that everyone thought I ran away, that no one was looking. I never stopped looking, not for 1 second. Imani pulls back, cups Sora's face, needs to see her, confirm she's real. Did he hurt you? Kept me locked up. Came once a week with food. Said as long as I stayed quiet, I'd stay alive. Sora's eyes drift past Imani to Ji Woon, standing in the doorway, and she flinches. That's him. The boss. The son. It's okay. He's with me. He helped me find you. Drop a comment right now and tell me if you saw that coming, because I guarantee 70% of you thought Sora was dead. And if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the most insane conclusion to this story that I promise will leave you emotionally devastated in the best way. Ji Woon steps forward slowly, hands visible, non-threatening. Miss Baptiste, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what was done to you in my family's name. You're safe now. I promise. Sora looks between him and Imani, seeing something there, understanding dawning. You two, you're together? It's complicated, Imani says. He's a crime boss. I know. You're in love with a crime boss. I know. Imani helps Sora stand. Can we discuss my questionable life choices after we get you to a doctor? They're halfway to the cars when Imani's phone rings. In-soo. She almost doesn't answer, but Ji Woon nods, puts it on speaker. I know what you did. In-soo's voice is calm, almost pleasant. Searched my office. Took my insurance. Very clever. It's over, Ji Woon says. I've seen the videos. I know you killed my father. Your father was weak, sentimental. I built that empire while he took credit for 30 years. I earned the right to lead it. By poisoning him? Foxglove in his evening tea, peaceful, relatively, would have been perfect if that little whore hostess hadn't walked in. His voice hardens. You have something of mine. I want it back. She's not a thing. She's a person. And she's going home. Then you've chosen war. And Sue laughs, cold. Enjoy it, boy. You're not ready for what's coming. The line goes dead. Ji Woon looks at his men. Lock down everything. All properties, all operations. In-soo had 30 years to plant loyalists. We don't know who we can trust. The next 72 hours are controlled chaos. Ji Woon calls an emergency meeting of the full organization, shows the videos, exposes In-soo's embezzlement and betrayal. Half the senior members are shocked. The other half, In-soo's planted men, try to fight. It's brief and brutal. By the end, In-soo's faction is dead or imprisoned, and Ji Woon stands as undisputed boss, authority earned in blood. In-soo himself disappears, runs, probably, to whatever bolt hole he's prepared for this scenario. Ji Woon puts a bounty on his head that would make most men retire forever. Meanwhile, Sora recovers in Ji Woon's penthouse, under guard, with doctors and therapists and Imani who refuses to leave her side. She's malnourished, traumatized, but alive. Every day, she's a little stronger, a little more herself. 1 week after the rescue, late at night when Sora is finally sleeping without nightmares, Imani finds Ji Woon on the penthouse balcony, looking out over Busan's lights. Can't sleep, she asks, sliding under his arm. Thinking. About? Everything. My father, In-soo. How many years I trusted a man who was planning to kill me. He's quiet for a moment. About you. What happens now? What do you want to happen? I want you to stay. Both of you. I'll keep you safe, give Sora whatever she needs to heal, and you, I want you with me. Not as my employee or my secret. As my partner. He turns to face her. But my world is blood, Imani. It always will be. I can't promise you safety or normalcy or any of the things you probably deserve. I spent 8 months cleaning blood and 2 weeks spilling it. I'm not naive about what you do. She takes his hands. And I'm not asking you to change. I'm asking if there's room in your life for me. As I am. There's room for you everywhere. He kisses her. Soft and sure. I love you. That's the only certainty I have left. Then that's enough. They go back inside, check on Sora one more time, then retreat to Ji Woon's room. The door locks. The world outside can wait. This time when they come together, it's different. Not desperate or rushed. Intentional. A choice they're both making with open eyes. Imani undresses slowly, watching him watch her. The hunger in his eyes matched by tenderness. When she's bare before him, he traces the fading bruises on her ribs, the cuts on her face that are healing to scars, maps of violence survived. You're so strong, he whispers. I'm terrified, she admits. Of me? Of this. Of wanting it so much. He undresses too, and she sees his scars, the ones he's earned in his world. They're both marked, both survivors, both choosing this impossibility. When he lays her on the bed, she pulls him down. No space between them. Skin to skin. His mouth finds hers, the kiss deep and claiming. She opens for him, lets him in, hands in his hair. He enters her slowly, watching her face, and she gasps at the fullness, the rightness. They move together, a rhythm they've learned, building slowly. His hand finds hers, fingers lacing, holding on. I love you. He breathes against her neck. I love you, she answers, arching into him. When she comes, it's with his name, and he follows, face buried in her shoulder, shuddering. After wrapped around each other, heartbeats slowing, she feels something settle. Peace, maybe, or just the certainty that whatever comes next, they'll face it together. 3 months later, Jeju Island, a safe house overlooking the ocean, far from Busan's underworld but still within Ji Woon's protection. Sora is painting again. Her therapist says it helps. The canvases are dark at first, all blacks and grays, but slowly color creeps in. She's gaining weight, smiling more, starting to joke with Imani like old times. She's wary around Ji Woon still. Can't quite separate him from the organization that hurt her, but she sees how he looks at Imani, how he brings groceries and asks nothing in return, how he's patient with her fear. He really loves you, Sora says one afternoon, while Imani helps her set up an easel on the beach. I really love him. It's still weird. My sister and a mob boss. Crime boss. There's a difference, apparently. Sora laughs, and it's the best sound Imani's heard in months. Are you happy? Yeah, I really am. Are you? Getting there. Sora squeezes her hand. Thank you. For not giving up. For finding me. Always. No pop jamblier. We will never forget. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment telling me which moment destroyed you the most. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening.